when you come out here and you see the absolutely different lifestyle and upbringing that is just so different from where you came from.
Yeah.
I happen to think there's something that you bring to these kids that they would not otherwise have. And I'm curious to know what you think might be some of the pitfalls from living in this environment. Southern California, volleyball is legendary and almost expected you're going to be great. What are some of the pitfalls that you think athletes that are coming up?
Great question. And I'll say it like this. I interviewed for a job. Where was it? It doesn't matter. Some California college program, right? They asked me what my strength was. I personalized my work. They asked me what my weakness is. I personalized my work. It hurts too fucking much when you lose because you put so much time in and you want so much for the kids that it hurts. So the pitfalls in California is the latter, what I was talking about. When you get rejected, when you get passed over, you feel like it's unfair. And there's no place more than California where you can get sucked into the validation game where you just don't, where you don't even like playing the sport anymore, right? Like, you're worried about who's watching, and if you play bad, they don't want to be your partner. That's from a player's perspective. From a coach's perspective, you put in all this time, you think it's your turn, now they're going to go with someone they know, someone that's in the I don't mean to say the circle, but like the good old boys circle. If they're, take that however you want to interpret that. So those are the pitfalls. The pitfalls where anytime you put yourself in a position where you're not just worrying about volleyball and only volleyball and the other, it seeps into your game. Instead of saying, hey, next play, it's like, shitty block, thanks for covering, and you start to revert into someone because you want it so bad that your enthusiasm works against you. Very much like theater, very much like stage performance. You want it so bad, like when you're on stage, you want to perform well, but if you go on the stage too with the intention to perform well, you'll never perform well, and that's a pitfall. And I blame the validation game, but that's been there before I got here. That's going to be there long after I'm gone, and it's just a matter of keeping your nose in the work and not reading the reviews. Now, for me personally, I always present people with two choices: you can respect me, or you can fear me. But disrespecting me, not having respect for me, is not an option. So, you're going to put some respect on my name. I'll metaphorically, I'll pop you in your mouth, or I'll call you out in front of everybody. And I'll look like the crazy guy to do that, but I already chose that as a lesser of two evils than the person that they think they could just shoo off a rock star. I don't play that. So, which goes back to Duran.
Okay.
First day of work, she gives me her knuckleheads. Now, the knuckleheads are the girls who are already committed. Right? They got so good so fast. They got it all figured out. So she's like, you got that group, right? So don't know why. There's just a whole bunch of other nets. So we're doing a bunch of drills and shag balls. Shag balls. For people listening at home, shag means you just collect the balls that you hit and served out all around or whatever. So everyone's jog. I'm like, hey, jog it out. And then everyone starts jogging out except one person. She's walking. So I'm like, I'm not going to name her name. God, I called her. I'm like, I said name, right? I'm like, are you walking in my practice? So she looks at me, she goes, pff, and then she keeps walking. So I go, and I said, Presley, come here. It's the program director's daughter who is at FIU right now. Do you know what the plank is? And she's like, yeah, the plank. So she gets down on the plank. She's like that, right? I'm like, yeah, like that. She goes to get back up. I said, no. Don't get back up. Stay there. She's like, why? I said, why is not in your vocabulary? Stay there. And I said, what's your name? Serena? Plank. Katie? Plank. One by one, plank. So the girl that was walking, she goes to go into the plank. I said, not you, them. You collect. When you're done, then they can get up. So now she's not walking anymore. She's running. Because everyone in the plank is looking at her like this. All of the other kids in the outer courts were like, the parents who come to every practice because they're invested just go, And Duran is like, I freaking love this guy. So that was an example of, if you don't respect me, have a healthy fear. I would rather have you look at me and say, that dude's crazy. I don't want anything to do with him than for you to think that I'm not on some level of importance where you don't know, like what this whole podcast is about. If you don't know, now you know. You know? You don't know me. You don't know my backstory. You don't know where I've been. You don't know the demons I conquered. You don't know the level on how I conquered them. Like, think about it. Like, in Marymount, I was the number 2 draft pick. I went back to school when I was 33 years old. Okay? I was the number 2 draft pick. AIT, I graduated second in my class for generators with a 98.28 average. You know, Hunter College, we of course won the Punies. We didn't call it the Cunies. We won the Punies. And we were only one of 6 teams to get invited to the EIVA. There were Vassar, who actually wound up going against Penn State. They were the first Division III team to make the EIVA finals. And NJIT, who is now Division I. So they were D3 back then. So, you know, I set for 2 teams that won nationals 3 times, men's adult nationals as a setter. 2 years in Germany. I got a whole bunch of hardware on this wall and behind you. German Region 1, Division 1. That trophy behind you, City of Darmstadt, they gave me Player of the Year because they didn't give me MVP. They booed the MVP, and then the next day, the City of Darmstadt, that trophy, that's why I throw out a whole bunch of trophies. That trophy behind you, City of Darmstadt gave me that trophy because they thought I deserved MVP. But the people. So from what I was to what I had to become, to succeeding with some level of excellence, respect that. Put some respect on my name. Or be afraid. Be very afraid. Mm-hmm.